Hey guys, welcome back. It is TechLock here. If you are in the United States like I am, I hope you guys had a great 4th of July holiday. That's also why there's not been many uploads this week for me because I was busy doing celebratory things. And if you're not from the United States, well, I hope you're having a great summer. Um, but we were treated at the end of this holiday weekend here in the States to our second summer banner of summer 2019, Summer Refreshes. So this banner will contain units from the Binding Blade and the Blazing Blade. So let's get into this.
An outfit like this can be quite useful on an assassination.
Alright, so our first unit here is Ursula. And before we get into Ursula, I really didn't think IS could get even more risque than leg yard on the last banner, but way to go, IS. You outdid yourself. So here's to having more risque heroes in Fire Emblem, if that's your thing. Not really my thing. So we'll just move on.
Mission. Just so you know.
Certainly has some sultry voice lines there to go with her attire. Alright, so here we have Ursula's kit, and as we have with most of these seasonal banners, we're going to have a theme with the weapon, and the theme with this banner's weapon is getting buffs based on the units being inflicted with some sort of penalty. So as we can see for Ursula here, she has a Scallop Blade, and that would be if penalty is active on a foe, grants attack speed +5 during combat. And so all this text down here is just detailing what a penalty is. Everyone here is pretty intelligent. We all know what a penalty is. But thanks for clarifying IS. And then the Dagger 7 debuff, which is pretty standard. And then she has rally attack plus speed, but let's look at this B skill, this brand new B skill, which totally blew me away the first time I saw it. And it's still blowing me away because this is the second time I'm seeing it. So the way Defense Res Ruse 3 goes is if a rally assist skill is used by a unit or targets a unit, very similar to skills that I love called link skills. So I'll probably love these skills as well. Inflicts defense res -5 and guard, which is very important to note, inflicting guard on foes in cardinal directions of unit and target through their next actions. Then it details what guard is, but you all know what guard is, so I won't read that. This is so incredibly powerful. She comes with a rally attack speed plus, which again, it's a great skill, especially for scoring in arena. So great for scoring and great in general. Who doesn't want to give attack speed +6 to their allies? And also, so if she does that, so she debuffs in cardinal directions, but also you can have someone rally her. So you can really position Ursula, especially being a cavalry unit with that 3 movement. She has quite a bit of flexibility to get around the map quickly and position herself in order for her to debuff units in the cardinal directions. So this Defense Res Ruse 3 is a great skill, but it's even better given the fact that it's on a Cavalier unit and can use her added mobility to kind of target specific units. And then we have even Res Wave 3, which does make sense. As you'll see here, I'm gonna say that Ursula will probably have a decent attack, pretty substantial speed, very poor defense, and very high res. But yeah, so again, you know how I feel about the wave skills. They're good, a little bit inconsistent because it's every other turn, and you can never anticipate which turn you're going to need the skills to activate on. But you know, they're good for providing buffs if you want a C skill that's going to buff your own unit. But I mean, the real highlight of this unit right here is Defense Res Ruse 3. And so, like I said, 32 attack. Again, I don't think, and as a mage, so it's going to be pretty squishy regardless, so I don't think she's going to have a crazy high attack. I'd probably guess around like 30 or 31. Nothing game breaking, but she probably will have good speed, probably around 35 if I had to guess, just making sure that she's doubling most stuff in the game, seeing if she's doubling this green mage. But this green mage is also doing 0 damage against her, and it's important to note. I don't believe that's a Raven tome. It looks like a Summer tome or a Spring tome given the bunny ears he's wearing. So it's not going to give him effective damage or ineffective damage against Ursula, so there's no weapon triangle effect here at play, and she is still taking 0 damage, so that's why it leads me to leave that with her C skill of even res wave. It's going to have pretty high resistance, and I think that's actually pretty true to her character in Binding Blade. So overall, probably a pretty good unit. And now we have Lilina, also from Binding Blade.
Got my swimsuit, and I'm ready for fun in the sun.
Now she's interesting because she is a colored dagger cavalier. It's just really interesting. Just kind of, I don't like the daggers that are colored. It just kind of forces them into a certain hole. Obviously, if they were colorless, they'd have a lot more utility. And her weapon here, Broadly Fan, deviates a little bit from what Ursula's weapon is, but of course, as you all know, daggers can be inherited across colors, so it would be really pointless to give 2 units in the same banner, especially a seasonal banner, the exact same weapon. So as you can see, it still sticks with the main theme of working off penalties, but instead of the attack speed +5 if penalty is effective on unit, Lynn here, she has Broadly Fan, which grants bonuses to units' attack equal to total penalties on foe during combat. It's very reminiscent of another hero in the game called the Galt and his weapon, the Cleaner, but it's kind of the inverse. The Galt's Cleaner is as follows: adds total bonuses on foe to damage dealt during combat. So that one calculates bonuses on foe, this one calculates penalties on foe. So it's basically the inverse. So I think that's pretty cool. And again, this whole banner is revolving around debuffing and penalizing the opposing team, so especially with these units getting debuffs or penalties on the units will not be very hard. As you can see, Ursula had an amazing B skill to debuff enemy units, especially and that guard piece was just icing on the cake. But I need to stop talking about that because we can be here all day if I'm going to talk about that B skill. But obviously Lilina here, we'll all go in order. So obviously we talked about that. She also has a Rally Up res skill, and I think Rally Up res skill, I do think Lilina's also going to have a pretty high res stat as well, and I'll get to that a little bit later. She also has attack res solo, again, which leads me to think that she's going to have a pretty high attack and pretty high resistance stat, sabotage, defense. At start of turn, if foes res less than or equal to units res -3, and that foe's adjacent to another ally inflicts defense -7 on the foe through its next action. Again, this skill would not be useful unless Lina's resistance was substantial, so this is another thing that makes me think that she's going to be having a very substantial resistance stat. And then attack opening 3, again, not with the rest, and it's not a debuffing skill, it's a buffing skill, but it's probably one of the premier buffing skills in the game, as there really is no condition. It just at the start of turn grants +6 attack to ally with the highest attack for 1 turn, excluding the unit. Honestly, Lilina and Ursula would make a really, really great pair. Granted that they can both rally each other, setting off Ursula's defense and res ruse 3 skill, and then also, given the res wave, Ursula can buff her own resistance as well as Lina's resistance and help out with something like sabotage defense. But yeah, pretty good skills overall, pretty decent unit, and I'll get into what I'm speculating her stats to be in a second here. Again, as we can see with most dagger calves, the HP is going to be pretty poor. we do have to take into account for her attack. I do think she's going to have high attack. I do think she's going to have high res. I don't think she's going to have very high speed, just because she's not doubling this Green Mage, and this Green Mage is doubling her back. And I think there's going to be a lot of her bonus point, or BST, is going to be allocated towards res. That would make me assume, just because she's a Cavalier, I don't anticipate a Dagger Cavalier having both very high resistance and really high defense, so probably low defense. I don't think she's going to have like the craziest attack, especially considering that she's going up against a squishy green mage here with weapon triangle advantage and still only hitting 43. But 43 is nothing to sneeze at, so I think she can probably hit pretty well. Definitely having a higher attack than Ursula or some of the other units on this banner. But overall, a really good unit. I really like her. Now, Walt is an interesting character right here, I'll tell you
I'm
that.
actually a real strong swimmer. I'm used to the river currents in Foray, you know?
So Walt, my boy Walt over here, he is the archer you get at the very beginning, when the first chapter, when you start off with Roy, you get Lance, you get Alan, you get Marcus, you get Barth, and then you get Walt. So he is the starting archer for your team, and because of that, he really gets left on the bench just because he's very, very weak at that point in the game. And as I'm sure if you watch Mangs, Mecha, all these people, the sniper utility, it's just not there. It's not worth the investment. So I've never really seen any runs where Walt gets heavily used. He typically just is sent immediately to the bench, or God rest his soul, is used as a human shield. Let's hope that doesn't happen. I did not use him as a human shield in my run, but I digress. We'll go back to this Walt here. He is a Bow Cavalier unit, which again, when Braveland was first introduced to the game, was really game breaking. However, he is going to be, like Sue, a green Bow Cavalier, which kind of pushes him into this sort of niche area that he can use, kind of decreases his utility. Unlike if he was colorless, he'd be having a lot better matchups against more units in the game, but because he's green, it really does limit his effectiveness as a unit. But again, if we go back, after deviating a little bit, we go back to the main theme of this banner, which is the bow, obviously effective against flying foes, but if a penalty is active on a foe, it grants attack speed +5 during combat. Again, should be super simple to proc, but really, we need to talk about this. Brazen attack speed 4. Holy mother of God, that is a crazy skill. That is absolutely absurd. Plus, under 80%, you get +9 attack and +10 speed. Wow! Not even a... I mean, we just had Legendary Alm who had Darting Blow 4, and that was only +9 speed, and this is +10. The thing about these Brazen skills, though, is it's not hard to get under 80%. A lot of these units just throw Fury on them, or a lot of units that have that damage, self-inflicted damage built into their weapon, or if you stick them next to a unit like Fallen Berkut, who damages a opposing unit, it really is not hard to get them under 80% HP. That's a very easy threshold to meet. And that's crazy. It makes a unit... This could make a unit that is completely incapable of doubling or is not based around speed at all. It can make him into a really speedy unit. I can imagine giving this to a Reinhardt per se. The one I have is +10, completely neutral stat line. He has 23 base speed. Well, if he gets under 80% HP, he's going to have 33 speed during combat without buffs. Imagine having a Honed Cavalry. He's going to have 39 speed. That is insane. A Reinhardt with 39 speed just from a Honed Cavalry and Brazen attack speed 4, he's going to be quadding everything. It's just absurd. I could stick to this on. If you watch my last summoning session, I had a plus speed Summer Levitain. So she has a base of 20 speed. Give her Brazen attack speed 4. I mean, obviously you have to sacrifice Mirror Impact, which probably wouldn't be the smartest idea. But again, if we're going for speed on her, Brazen attack speed 4. Give her Darting Blow in her Sacred Seal slot. Ward Flyers. Easy peasy. She's at 40 speed. She's doubling everything. This is crazy. This completely changes the dynamic of units who are considered too slow to ever double in the past. And also chill speed just synergizes really well with his weapon, again inflicting penalties on units. So again, Walt, good unit. I would love to see his stat line. See if it can prove me wrong. I don't think he's gonna have a great stat line, but again, this is the prize. This is the trophy of this unit right here with Brazen Attack Speed 4. That is just ludicrous. So again, he's gonna be pretty fast as an archer, a mounted archer. I don't expect his defenses to be anything particularly resounding. Probably, I don't know. If I had to guess, probably somewhere around mid to low 20s. I won't speculate too much as this Lance Dragon doesn't give us much to judge off by, but I can say for pretty certain that he's going to have decent speed. He's going to have 30s speed, but I do think his attack is going to be a little bit lacking. You have to take into account that he's using a bow to effect against flyer, and he has the weapon triangle advantage of green over blue, and it's still at 61. So having all that come into play, and he's embraced. I forgot to mention this. If you notice up here, I believe again, my eyesight's not that great, so this might not be incorrect, but I believe his normal HP will be 42, which means he is now in grazing range, so getting +9 attack during this combat phase means that his attack's probably going to be a little bit lacking. I would assume maybe around 30, 31. But again, with those three things going for him, and he's only reaching 61 hit on this Lance Dragon, probably leaves a little bit to be desired in the stat department. But who knows? Maybe he has poor attack, but he makes up for it in defenses. I could be completely wrong about defenses on Cavaliers. Maybe I've just been brainwashed by IS at this point, and they're going to throw us a curveball with this unit. But yeah, cool unit. And that's kind of the end of the Binding Blade units on this banner.
Isn't the ocean just beautiful? The way it stretches as far as the eye can see.
Now we're in Blazing Blade. And we're deviating. No more Cavalier units. Woo! And obviously we have to have our obligatory unit that deviates from the weapon themes. So obviously here we have Lynn, who is a blue bow flyer. Definitely something interesting. She's going to have a very, very niche role. Again, flyers. Flyers are good units, but they just have that glaring weakness to bows, which are pretty prevalent in the game. A lot of people have bow units that are built up and pretty powerful. And then also giving her a blue color kind of limits what she's effective against or what she can really hold up to in battle. But let's get into her weapon, which deviates, so grants speed +3. So I think she will have a pretty high speed, effective against flying units, effective against flying and armored foes. Very similar to Hinoka's Warrior Bow. If HP equals 100%, unit initiates combat, grants attack, speed, defense, res +4 during combat. This is a great blow. This is a great bow. Yeah, she definitely has utility. Even though she is blue, I would have loved to see this as a colorless bow. But I guess you already have Hinoka to fill that role with an archer that's effective against flying and armored foes. But I digress. This is a great bow. It's a great weapon. I can definitely see people pulling for Lynn because Lynn is a fan favorite. Reposition, again, great for mobility. Sturdy impact. We all know this is a fantastic skill. If unit initiates combat grants attack +6, defense +10, which I think she will heavily need. I don't anticipate her having incredibly high defense, just giving, again, not to be sexist here, but typically female flyers, especially ones wielding ranged weapons, have pretty low defense. So I think if you're having an armored unit that has distant counter, which, let's be real, most of the armored units have distant counter on them. I did a recent video, I don't know if I put it out yet, by the time this comes up I don't know if it'll be out yet, but I ranted about how every FEI come into attack, some Hector was sacrificed to give that FE distant counter, which is quite a shame. But again, I think the defense is definitely going to help her against units, and it's also going to really help if you're initiating against a unit with Vengeful Fighter. prevents follow-up attack. So definitely a good way to combat certain armored foes. And you have attack speed link right here. Again, I'm not going to go into it. I love my link skills. I think they're very useful, and she comes with reposition, so very easy to set that up. However, I would rather someone reposition her or someone smite her, and then she gets that buff and then go into battle. And then distant guard is also a fantastic C skill, really great to help buff up allies who are attacking at range or being attacked at range. This is an incredible skill set, really well built, really well put together, and I'm very excited to see the stats for this unit. As always, I'm going to try to speculate. Again, she has the effective against flying bonuses here, but you know, they're not displaying the color, not displaying the weapon triangle advantage here. So she's going up against her own color. I would say she probably has a respectable attack. I'd probably guess around 32, 33, maybe a little bit more than Walt's. I do hope that she had, and obviously she doubles here, and given her attack speed link, I would definitely presume, and also based off previous Lynn's in the past, that she's going to have pretty high speed, probably 35, 36. So probably leaves her with pretty weak defenses, but again, I don't, with archers, most archers do have pretty abysmal defenses, so you're definitely trying to attack the unit and get rid of them before they can do too much damage to your own unit. Alright, so we get the new banner, and we're getting another free unit, and I said this earlier, it wasn't a mistake when I said we're done with the Binding Blade units after Walt, because I do believe this unit is Fiora from the Blazing Blade. That's what it looks like, just the way her hair is set up with the two bangs coming to the side with little tiny gold headband. I really do believe that this is Fiora also being a flyer. It makes a lot of sense. So that's who I'm speculating this unit is. Again, I'm not 100% certain. I could totally be wrong, and please let me know if I am or if you think it's someone else. But I'm really excited for her. If she's anything like, if her stats or skills are anything like the way Yilger was on last banner, I'm really excited for this unit. Alright, so again, this is going to be available from 7/9/2019 to August 8th, 2019, or 8/8, 2019. I don't know why I switched from going numbers to actual saying the month of the date, but I digress. It's late at night. So not as stupidly long as our Summer Returns banner, but again, these are great units. They definitely have a lot of niche capacity. My one warning here would be, keep in mind there are 3 Houses banners coming up. There is CYL3 coming up, which is definitely going to be impacting the meta. So I wouldn't spend too many orbs on this banner. If you love these characters, yes, they have great skills. They have great artwork. They're definitely useful in the game. So if you love these skills, by all means, go ahead, pull for them. But just be mindful that there's a lot of banners coming out soon. If you want to save your orbs for that. I'll probably spend a little bit of orbs here, but nothing too crazy. I still have not pulled the leg yarn. I do want to pull leg yarn, so from the old banner. So that might come back to bite me in the butt, but I digress. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed the review. I know this took a long time. There's definitely a lot to cover in this banner. A ton of crazy stuff going on, especially with new skills coming out. And all these units are just so cool, and I can't wait to go up against them and, fingers crossed, pull one of them so I can use them. But yeah, if you liked the video, I do a lot of Fire Emblem content, so please like the video, subscribe so you can be notified for future content. Or maybe check out some other banner reviews or other videos that are up here on the screen. Take care, guys, and good luck with this banner.